Welcome, everybody. It's Friday night at the crib. I'd like to welcome everybody. We have Mr. Brian, or CPA Brian. How should I introduce you? We need a prefix for you, Brian. Everybody else has got one.
I don't actually have any of those titles yet, but I like
neither does Dr. Death. But
I was going to say I like Doctor Who, but then that confuses me with Dr. Death. Whatever. Mad scientist Brian. Whatever.
That's two. You're not even a scientist. I'm a scientist.
Then fine, then Mad Brian, whatever.
Okay, Mad Brian. We'll go with Mad Brian.
You kind of call yourself Bachelor till you don't get that Bachelor title.
I mean, admittedly, I'm pretty mad.
Okay.
It's been a crazy day.
Okay. Dr. Death?
Hello.
Father George? Or do we
Father
agree on?
George. Wow. That sounds like a big priest. And he doesn't look like a priest when he sees the slides, but fair enough.
And Senor Tito?
Senor Tito, hello, everybody.
Hello. And this is Jefe. And I am going to post the Hangouts for everybody in the YouTube chat. And there we go. And I'm going to put Tito on present. And we can start the slides. There we go. I just put the Quake cannon in here as the first slide, just to remind everybody of Wednesdays when I asked for, I gave everybody a link to a survey at the BP Crib forum site. And we can go back to this because the real question I had by doing that is, what was the market for all of this, zealous owners out there? And Nines has joined us twice, and Hollywood is here as well. Nines, you're on there a couple of times. I'm not sure which one to boot.
Boot them both.
Yeah, that's always a good idea.
This is me, right here.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you don't pay me to stand Nines 2 times, so please.
Yes, you're taking up the spot for. I'm not even going to mention any names here, but but we can come back and talk about the Quake and the massive DPS it does and whatnot. But the reason I did it was, if Tito, you can go to the next slide.
Sure.
I put a survey up and asked everybody that normally achieves tier 5 in the Forsaken mission what their highest tier raid haul was. And as we see, a little over 81% had the Cannoneer, 17% had the Ironclad, and 1.9% had the Zealous. So my real question with this is, why did we get 2 specials for the Zealous in tier 5? Probably was more appropriate, at least putting one of them in tier 4 might have been more appropriate, because it doesn't really seem like, at least based on the small group that I pulled, and maybe as we've seen before, that the people that listen to these shows might be ahead
of the curve.
Yeah, ahead of the curve, and may not be representative of the entire population of the game. But as far as, and the reason I did it is, do I want to go infinitum and break down all the specials for the Zealous and the weapons and whatnot and try to project how it would perform in the raid? And I didn't think for, less than 2% that, the other 98% would want to listen to that. So,
well,
no, you didn't
with
have
some of the stuff that we're coming, we're hearing back about the builds. We're going to have to talk about it a little bit, because I know the first time they posted it on the Battle Pirates page, I was one of the first ones that replied, and I said, I have no idea why these are in tier 5 instead of tier 4, because the people that need them are the people that can't get to tier 5. However, from what I heard today, especially what Dr. Death said earlier, I'm kind of wondering now if that wasn't done on purpose.
Well, the other issue associated with it is the fact that, the build times are fairly long. We've already gone through the first part of a 3-part cycle. VXP weekend is currently ongoing. So you're not really going to be able to rank these unless you coin the crap out of them until the last part of the raid, when it doesn't seem like the wisest investment to spend all your build time for a single raid if you've already started the Cannoneer or the Ironclad. That's
You didn't leave a option. I actually have one in my dock completely scald, and even with these, and I hit tier 5 regularly, I would rather go with an Ironclad or a Cannoneer.
I don't know, man.
But you haven't gone against a raid target with the new cannon and a rank Zealous. You don't. I mean, at this point, we don't completely know what we're going to get as far as using it, because it's obvious that the defenses are lower on the Zealous. Everybody can crank up these numbers, but a lot of them aren't including the Bloodthirst and things of that nature from what I've seen. And the difference between 98 and 99 is not small. You're taking twice as much damage in 98 that you're taking in 99. Yeah. Or if you're 97 versus 90, taking 3 times as much damage.
But then what you got to take into account is DPS
and range.
Actually, what you guys are missing one really big difference between the Zealous and the Ironclad, and that's that deflection. The deflection on a Zealous with armor is 760.
Mm-hmm.
You can probably actually get it up to more than that, as a matter of fact, if you go with all ballistic instead.
Yeah, and you're also dealing with a repair efficiency of 1 versus a repair efficiency of 0.8.
Correct.
So I'm just saying the timing on this was, again, bad. I could see that these new specials, if they were released last FM cycle, would have made sense and would have provided a good alternative for people. Okay, Cannoneer, Ironclad, Zealous. Okay, well, let's see what we're going to do. But at this point, you're forced to coin the Zealous in order to get VXP on it, get these builds out, and do all that stuff. And are you going to spend all your coin on that? Because chances are you're not going to reap your benefits as far as monetarily versus repairs on one of these other 2 hulls.
That could be what those 20-some offers for Zealous tokens that we got were.
Yeah, they might have offered those after they did this.
But the thing is that
they might have given us at least a work in progress that described what we're going to be getting, and then maybe we're like, "Oh, I'm going to get the Zealous as opposed to I'm going to spend $40 on VXP tokens for the Zealous, and then I'm going to spend another $40 on build tokens for it, and not know what they're going to do." It's sort of like, oh, buy it. We know what's good for you because we're not telling you what's coming.
And it was more like $200 for like 40-something days and like 2 Scald Zelos. No, thank you.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm looking at this build I just threw together of the Zealous, and the turret defense is like 97 and 97 or 97, 96. It's got a combat speed of 72.5, and man, this looks like it might fit into what Dr. Death saw today, and that's going to really piss me off.
Well, if Dr. Death also said that the range on the, we'll get to that again. But,
later on, yeah. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of us.
Yeah, you're getting ahead of ourselves. But I mean, something if you got a combat speed of 73, and you're asked to, you've got very little range in order to snipe some of these ballistic targets. I don't know if I want to be going.
The Zelos will not snipe. The Zelos will not snipe. It's not in the same classification as the Cannoneer.
No. Except for a lot of people were, I saw a lot of people. There were some people in the forums that were using Zeloses in the raid, and they said they were barely able to snipe some of these long-range targets. That's why we had an easier time with the Cannoneer.
And, the
It was B sets you were able to snipe because I was sniping them with Punishers with Arbalest.
Okay.
The thing is with that, if that kind of speed, what I would be afraid of is I have never heard if it was intentional or not, but in the B sets, that oil slick. Could you imagine hitting oil slick with 73 combat? You're going to be pinging off the walls left, right, and center trying to get turned.
No, you won't. Not if
It
you know the path.
sounds like so much fun. Well, yeah.
Yeah, and also we had the issue once things start to get super fast, they start to separate and go their own
I did
separate
not.
way.
I have not had that problem at all yet.
I haven't either.
Only
I got
on
hit
the
something
test
with
server.
73 speed.
Only in the test server did I ever see that. I've not seen that since.
I got split up a couple of times in a 75 with much less speed. When you're coming in 9 o'clock and there's that diagonal set of walls, kind of zigzaggy set by the first long range cannon. I've had my fleet split up there a couple of times, and it took a hit from the giant middle cannon that I feel it shouldn't have.
I got a solution for you, Brian. Don't come in at 9 o'clock then.
Yeah.
There it is.
All right,
But no, we're looking at the Zelos versus the Ironclad, and yeah, the Ironclad does have better defense. I will give the Ironclad credit for that, but the problem is
It's only got a 400 deflection, man.
it's only got a 400 deflection versus the 700 deflection that the Zelos has, and the Zelos kills the target faster, so there's less shots fired on it.
Yeah, if you guys want to look, I actually posted up a link for 3 builds that I just did real quick while we were talking, and on the Zealous has a one shot of 337,000, which is just under an Ironclad that's fitted with Millenniums. The problem is the Zealous also has all that splash, and the reload is what? Is it a third?
Yeah.
Something like that. I have to put rank on this so I can compare it now.
Okay.
That's 0.5. So it's got double the reload speed. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that the power just comes from that weapon. That weapon is stupid how powerful it is, and that is just for one hole, because it's even better than any of the other ones, and it's supposed to be the weapon for the poor man, not for the rich one. That were the ones that went for the cannoneer. So I think
that cannon's only a 4-hour build too.
Jeez, yeah, you're right. 3 hours, 54
in
minutes.
in other games, you call that hole the poor man's cannoneer, and it's not the poor man's.
That's the
rich
best.
one.
But Tito, that's the best cannon in the game.
Yeah, for that is
and
not.
we can only use it.
I mean that the hole is the
Bringing
poor
zeros.
man's hole, and actually it's going to be perform better than any of the ones that are coining. So I'm asking if Kixai is just trying to make us coin less.
Yeah, and the other possibility is if we do see that there is defensive liabilities associated with the Zelos, and especially repair time deficiencies, that we might see that the ultimate solution is to use the Ironclad as a forward-facing tank to either suck up the radioactive damage from the main turret or something of that nature, while you have the Zelos with the new cannons floating around behind it and not being targeted. Not your normal sort of, like you would use with remote targeting, but something, where you're coming in from a different angle and you're just keeping the Ironclad closer to whatever your
Being a
primary
blocker.
target is. Yeah.
And
So that might be the
and
ultimate solution.
and cruise in 16-second pinches. Like, we're not even factoring those in yet. Like I feel like I'm
I'm just gonna
hallucinating
tell
when
you
I see
what
that
I-
reload time of 1.
I'm just going to tell you what I saw this guy do with 2 Zeloses in one of those 100s today. Made me sick to my stomach. It really did. And that's all I got to say about it. I've got the Harlock Cannoneer built. I've got 4 Cannoneers behind it. I've got an Ironclad fleet built. It made me sick to my stomach. Why'd I waste all my time, my coins, and
Dr. Death,
everything?
can you actually, because I know we all know because we caught it at the beginning, right, like before the show, but can you just tell everyone that's watching what you actually observed? Because I know it was 2 of them, and I know, you know what I mean? I don't know that everyone knows why exactly we're all upset, because I think people are confused why we're upset at this
I
point.
watched the guy take 2 Zeloses into a 100 on auto and kill it, and didn't even take a quarter fleet of damage. I mean, he just autoed the target.
And this is the target that has been like
Supposed to be tier
decimating our cannoneers, and I mean this is not that's what I mean. It does not bode well when you see if you see someone autoing 100 with 2 of these and walking it, that's not a good sign.
Especially
No.
if these are going to be S-set targets.
Yeah, it made me sick to my stomach. What the heck's Kixeye doing? Why'd I waste my time and my energy and my money building cannoneers and ironclads if the Zelos is the fleet to go with? And it's supposed to be the weaker fleet.
What's bad is we were told the Ironclad was going to be the auto fleet. Apparently not from that.
All right, let's go on and we can get back to what we're seeing in VXP. Tito, can we go to the next slide?
Sure. Okay, this is because we are hearing a lot of people asking if they should build the Citadels still or not. So Jeff and I work at numbers here just to see if you started today to get tier 5 in the Forsaken mission, how long will it take you before you get all the blueprints that you have already now and the ones that will be added to the tier 5 as you try to get them all? Because we are always talking about new flesh or new blood into this game, and we want them to be relevant in 1 or 2 months. My first concern, if somebody wants to be relevant, unless it's going to put an eye and one liver into the game, is going to want something that is not that huge expensive so to become relevant. So one of the first things you may want is the tokens from tier 5. So today, taking care that there were 32, but they moved 2 to tier 4. There are 30 blueprints in tier 5. Kixeye may add 3 or 4 blueprints each month after the raid. For those that complain in the forums that why we have more, well, they have done it every single time after a raid. They always add blueprints, and you have to get those before you get the tokens, even for the people that is up to date with them. So if you do normally between raids, there are 3 weeks that you can do the FM. So you have 6 possible blueprints to get from there if you do twice a week the FM. So you end with summarizing, if in the first of the 2 cases, taking 3 of those 30 that are there nowadays. So it will take you 10 months before you can get the first token.
10 months or 3 months?
10 months.
10
because
months?
there are 30 at the moment, and with the once they are adding, you are catching at 3 of those 30. So 30 divided by 3 is 10. 10 cycles or 10 months, whatever you want to call it, is the same. Is what takes you to get your first token from tier 5.
And this last 2 months they've added 4, so it would take 15 months.
15 months. Well, this month, for example.
But wait, what we got to look at here too, also, people. This is people that are just coming into the game. You're saying it'll take them 15 months to get to tokens, but they've got to make it to where they can hit tier 5 to start. How long? And that's going to take them 6 to 8 months at least.
Yeah, but get in mind that there is people that helps. I help you to get the Punisher, because there is the other thing. In the last raid, I helped the lobbies to get the Punisher. The main problem they had is that I gave them a build. I gave them George build with the launchers, and also gave other. I think it was in Sector Gadget. I have a fleet that has mortars that you can use in the FM, so they could hit tier 4 and 5 in that FM. But the problem is that they don't even have the labs to build that, because like they said, the build looks amazing, but they don't have the labs to use these blueprints.
All right, so let me ask this. I mean, this is actually a really good visual. The catch is, how do you fix this? Do you just take the stuff out of tier 5 and start funneling it into tier 4, or I mean?
Well, Tito, click. Well, I think at the bottom, either they put in a tier 6, which I don't think anybody really wants to see.
Nope.
700 million.
Not even a little. Not even a little.
Currently in tier 4, there's 32 BPs. So my guess, at some point soon, they're going to start en masse, start moving these things. I mean, to really fix it, they need to move them faster than the way they've been moving them.
Well, they should be trickling down anyway. I mean, I don't understand why some of the stuff is where it's at.
You know what? Not only should they be trickling down, okay, but let's be honest. If we want to bring new blood into the game and we want them to become relevant, to where they're not playing this game for 2 years before they're actually caught
my
up.
talking point. You're taking my talking point. I love you. Go ahead.
before because right now the way it is, it's going to take them 2 years, 2 freaking years. Who's going to invest the time or the money in this game at this stage to do that? Nobody. So they should be not only trickling this stuff down from the top levels down to lower levels, but they need to be trickling the bottom stuff into the freaking labs so that they can research this stuff.
Or the other way around is that they could, with that cap of doing the Forsaken mission twice, and if they want to limit the number of tokens you can get, make the tokens one more price to get in that, and put 2 or 3, whatever you want us to get, but let people do as many as they can, because if not, it's taking 50 months if they keep this pace that they are taking right now.
Well, no, Tito, it's going to take someone that you got the Punisher 15 months to get there. But if someone comes, like someone started playing the game today, it may be 6-7 months before they see a ship come back out that's going to help them get to tier 5.
Right, and I'm
well,
pretty
when I was talking this with Jefe, when I made these first numbers, we were talking about another thing. We always prompt people, the first they have to do is to get the FM fleet, right? Well, Jefe and I got into another conclusion. Maybe the first fleet they want to do is the one that gives them base parts, so they can just start to update those labs so they can use the blueprints. Because if you get these blueprints and you cannot use them, it's pointless.
The two things you got to focus on now, since they've changed the game, honestly, the 2 things you got to focus on now, as far as I'm concerned, is to be able to hit the mines to get base parts so you can get your labs up quickly, and you got to have a freaking raid fleet. The FM, the FM is going to change.
So we are asking them to have an FM fleet, a raid fleet, and a mine fleet. The problem is that if
you can't do the raid, you're not going to get. Think about it. We've only got 2 more months of this raid cycle, and then we go into the raid that's bringing out the new FM target.
I'm not thinking today. I'm thinking that the other problem I saw is that if you want people to get into the game, you need to, that generalist hole they have. It's an amazing idea, but it's wrong at the same time, because that's something that I would do this way. This is my idea. When you present the generalist hole for that year, you make it in a raid. So if you get it on the raid, you have it for the whole year. If not, it has either to be in every single raid from that or the whole year. So if you don't have to wait for a whole store so you can get it, because you find yourself waiting there for that whole store to happen, or you make it researchable, or you make a sort of quest like they did in the past that you have to achieve several targets or something so you can get it. But you have to give them a path, maybe a learning path that ends with the generalist hole in your hands. Researchable, whatever you want.
Or a campaign that's not a TLC. I mean,
there's a much easier way to do this. Take everything in tier 1 and 2, dump it into the research lab, right? Change some of the requirements in the research lab, and let them start getting into the FM. Why change the path if you can just tweak it so it works for brand new people? Because if you can get someone relevant inside of a month or 2, they're gonna stick with the damn game. If it takes them a fucking year, they're not sticking around.
Because the problem I see, George, in the actual path that Kickstarter is forcing people to take, getting these sea walls and all that thing, is that all those holes nowadays are useless. They cannot even do the lower tier in a raid like you could do in the past.
That's why I said dump it into the research lab and change the requirements.
I wouldn't put it in the research lab.
You're making them waste a lot of months of research, upgrades and alike for something that you are not going to use.
The second part of that, Tito, you missed the second part of that. Change the requirements. Dump it into the research lab. Change the requirements.
No,
2 simple steps.
Personally, I think they should. Dumping in the research lab is going to confuse people because there's so many options now if you do that. I think a better potential path, especially with everybody's favorite blueprint, is to dump all that stuff into the cargo BPs.
Or I've got a better one. How about instead of giving low-level conquerors, they put generalist halls in the naval lab?
But what do you want a low-level, a conqueror hall? After July, they are useless to do any of the chores.
Tito, I was saying rather than give the low-level conqueror halls in the naval lab, put the generalist halls in there.
That was my point.
And I did hear that 3 Porthos did get into 9 space. So, you're hitting on a sore subject there.
I
Yeah,
also heard
but the problem
George
here
is
is
evil
that if
twin.
you,
We can't believe everything.
but the problem here is that even if Portos got into that base, the problem is that if you they should give us the things in the order that that is one of the depths, put them in that planning that they gave to us. And if the base hitting is the last of them, you cannot put that ahead of the other ones, or make that researchable and not the other ones. You have to make holes researchable for any of those chores, or at least the generalist one. With this, you will
Chore
have
stuff,
all the
yes.
new flesh into the game.
Yes, the chore stuff particularly, in particular to the chores on the map, uranium, base parts, etc. There's got to be an option that newbies can start with, even if it's just to hit like the 30 level mines. There's got to be there's got to be something that they can hit, because if it gets fun again and people see, hey, you know what, people will be able to come in and start getting to play this game right away instead of waiting 6 fucking months. We're going to start bringing people back into the game. On top of that, the people that have left, when they come back, I think me and Hefe were talking about this before. If they're like level 80 or 90, right, and they've been gone for like 6 months and they come back, everything's worthless to them and they're screwed now because they can't partake in anything.
Well, now,
And
have you seen the posts popping up of people that's come back since this last raid? There were a couple guys that came back since this last raid, and kicks I gave them full fleets of Tide Seekers fully built.
Yeah. But the thing is, this is the problem that I have. Instead of just doing it to the people that have just come back, like I have an alt that I log in every once in a while just to have numbers to compare with and stuff. I would play that account again if they actually went, hey, you know what? He's a level whatever, doesn't have this, pop him it. Or at least give him the option to research it or a way to get it other than, spending $50. I mean, it will get a lot of people back in the game, and it would kind of, and if we can get new players relevant, I mean, I know new people would come in. It's just they got to do something. They can't just ignore it. And I know they have a new title that just came out and everything, and kudos to them for that. But damn, you got to start looking at the stuff that's kept you here.
Yeah, I fully agree with that.
I'm actually going to try.
Well, that was a thought that I had with Hefe, and I wanted to share with everybody, because we always talk about fresh fluid, or fresh blood, whatever you want to call it. But as you can see, it's not easy for it then to come.
The way the game is right now,
Precisely.
we're not going to get any fresh blood. It's just not going to happen.
I've been talking about this for friggin' almost a year now. I've been pushing on this. It's something's got to get done, but the problem is you can't just come up with a couple of random things here or there. You have to kind of look at that whole big picture and plan the entire thing accordingly. So, but they do got to do something. I mean, especially with old players, especially the old players that used to coin. I mean, damn, come on back. I want them to entice them to come back. Give them a free fleet. I don't give a shit. Give them a free fleet. Come on back. Start spending your coin again.
Yeah. You know what would be a real simple solution is just to update the campaigns that are at the tower for the new players. You know what I mean? Just pull out all the worthless stuff that's in there and put in more modern tech into those campaigns for lower level players.
I hate to
You know what I
say
mean?
it, but get rid of the Mercuries. Get rid of other campaigns. I've been playing 2 years, and most of the tech that is in the campaigns, honestly, I've hardly never used.
No, most of it's unusable. I mean, in the current game, most of it's unusable. So instead of winning a Mercury, or winning, some of the stupid things they've got in there,
Maulers.
like the Maulers, stuff like that, just update it. Take those ships out and put more modern, tech that came out. Like they could throw rhinos in there, and they could throw, lower level tiered stuff, citadels and rhinos and stuff or centurions and rhinos, stuff like that. In those campaigns that the players can work on at their pace. You know what I mean? As they come into the game and build up to it, You know, because right now
Yeah, you know,
there's nothing there for them to make a stepping stone with.
and if they actually changed, they wouldn't have to change the actual campaigns. They just got to change the prizes. That actually would be a nice, easy, simple solution.
That's what I'm saying.
If they could put tier 2 tech in there, I'm talking Nova and V2. Those are fleets right there that can get you. Those are, in my opinion, in assault and garrison, those are two of the better low stuff that will actually get you higher. If they were to move those down, well, put them in there, move them down to like a lower tier campaign, people would be able to start going for Apollos, start being able to do the FM easier. And I mean, like I said, it's tier 2 tech.
Well, we don't know how long
Just-
that's going to be viable either because we don't know what the next raid set's going to be.
Right.
That might just negate everything from below citadels.
I just can't see him tossing a tier, what is it, 5 haul in to a campaign.
Depends on what we see. I mean, if you can't
Yeah.
do the new map targets with anything, below a tier 5 hull, then that's what you got to put in there. And that's just logic.
Let's hope not.
They got to do something. That's all we need to say about it. They got to do something.
So double checking, by the way, the defense on the Zelos in-game comes out with the same numbers that Huggies does. So, yes, it really does get that high, even at a starting point of 30%.
That cannon.
It's
That
insane.
cannon.
Yeah, it's that cannon.
It's freaking insane.
I saw that special and I'm like, I'm instantly putting this on a couple of ships, and then I saw the tag on it.
Actually, I'm not even in the
Yeah.
builds that I'm doing. I'm not even using that new special. I'm using the high velocity rounds instead.
Yeah, the
cannon
high
does-
velocity rounds with those cannons
because
is
the one
just,
shot is just insane that way.
yeah, it one shots the target. And that's what makes it better than the Ironclad is because the Ironclad can't kill them in one shot. The Ironclad's got a pound on them. So it's getting
And it's got
pounded
the
on.
reload, right? And it's got the
And-
reload with Ironclad does not.
And it's got to get closer. The Ironclad does. Not by much, but it's still relevant.
All of
But
that.
why is the
translates to
generalist hole better than what's supposed to be the top holes for the raid target?
Because kicks are a bunch of
That-
fucking
that
idiots that
is-
don't know what they're doing. Someone put a 1 where there should have been a 7 in the reload time. Someone put a 5 million where there should have been a half a million in the agility 4. It's this trend that keeps going where they don't know what numbers are.
I mean, look, the Ironclad between the speed and the range of what is it, 90 on the Ironclad with the guns and the special, and the Zealous has a 97.5, right? Between
Mhm.
that and the speed, I mean, the Zealous is killing things quicker. It is in the firing zone for a shorter time, and it gets to the next target and reduces that killing zone as well because of its speed. I mean, what the hell?
Now,
That gun-
the
someone
one thing
messed
that
up on that gun. Someone messed up on that gun, either on the resistances or the actual damage or the reload or all three of them. I mean, the Zealous should not be better than the damn Ironclad.
one thing that scares me, and this may just be me, is the Generalist Hall. Whenever they brought out the idea, they said, "Oh, you can build it for multiple different uses." Now, I'm honestly thinking the next Journalist Hall, I'm going to build it because it's going to be exactly like this. Probably when it comes out, they're going to toss something with it, and it's going to be just this powerful.
Why do you think there's going to be another Generalist Hull? You can tweak this one to the nth degree depending on how many specific weapons and armors they come out with. I can take this hull and let it and use it for the next year without having to release another one just by tweaking what I'm releasing for it.
Yeah. But the numbers on the Zelos it's just a sickening thing.
That I'm already salty. I'm salty about a whole lot of stuff lately. This is just another one in a line, and it sucks because they made such strides last year. I was so happy at the stuff that they were doing last year, and there was a couple of setbacks here and there, but overall they went really, really well. And then this last few weeks,
It's
I
falling
mean,
apart.
yeah, like
We're back to 2015.
look, when there is video proof of a change in a target and they're like, "Oh no, nothing has changed. You're just imagining it." Really? Here's the proof. Oh, well, we tested it and there's no change. Okay, well, standard that you're holding me. Where's your video? I don't see a video of before and after showing me that, hey, there's been no change. Bullshit. I call bullshit. Who's got the fucking proof?
Oh, everybody knows there's been change.
Yeah, instead they're gonna go, no change. You're doctoring your video or some shit. Fuck that. Yes,
Well, they're
I don't want to get off on
there's been so many players though that have tried to post about it and they're just burying the threads as fast as they're posted. I mean, this is a total scam job by Kixeye.
And that's just
I actually haven't hit Armada. I'm hoping they change whatever they did back.
Well, let's change to the next slide. And meanwhile, you can think a bit more of it. And if we have time, we keep with this topic that seems so interesting to everybody at the end of the show.
Yeah, go.
Do you agree, guys?
Yep. Next slide. What do we got?
Well, here was Hefe trying to also make the tier 4, because the tier 4 is the other of the FMs tiers where you can get those tokens. And as you can imagine, it's not easy as well for them to get those 2 days tokens. Because if you guys recall, it's going to be 32 blueprints, and if you have to make the catch up because it's going to be at the same rate that you can do in tier 5, 10 months again. That's the minimum. Yeah. Although it's going to be shorter because normally Kixeye only at 1 or 2 blueprints, and you can catch 6. So you are making the catch up at 30 divided by 4, which is going to be around 7.5 cycles.
Are those real? Do you think?
No, I think that this girl got trouble swimming and
flotation devices?
She's a bit. Her skin is allergic to the foam, so she cannot use any other sort of help and supporters, and also is allergic to the rubber. So they got to use the only thing that she wasn't allergic, and that was the silicone.
Oh, Tito, that's horrible.
That's my fault.
Oh shit! All right. Wow.
Well, silicone, latex, whatever you want to call it, mate.
I mean, I wonder how hard it is to buy bras for those things. Now, you try and motorboat those things, you better go with a snorkel.
You need full scuba gear. What are you talking about?
Oh shit! I mean, wow. That's got to be the way that they took the picture or something. Holy shit! Anyway, I'm sorry. Tito, I think, was saying something, but I got distracted. I am so sorry.
Are we actually on VXP weekend now, or are we still
are we on VXP weekend? I totally lost what we were talking about. I'm sorry. I got distracted. I apologize, everybody.
Tito was actually talking about something else before he got onto a tangent about whatever. And now we're here.
Thank you for the attention, guys. I really appreciate it. I was saying that tier 4 is going to take you guys at least 7.5 cycles, so nearly close to 8, before you get the first 2 days tokens. And those are the first ones that are going to help you at least, let's say, catch up with ships and fleets that you're going to need for your chores, raids, and alike. Unless you are willing to put a lot of money on the game. And man, if you have to start the game putting a lot of money, maybe you are not going to be willing to play this.
Yeah. I don't think anyone would disagree with this either, because I think we've said it several times. Once you hit that point where you're getting tokens, it is a completely different game for you. It changes your game entirely once you have access to those tokens.
And I'm not saying that in other games, because when I see at this game, I look at another game that has been for ages and people still plays, and is World of Warcraft from Blizzard. And in that game, you have to pay a month fee, okay? But after 3 months, I am talking just 3 months, you are able to get enough resources so you can buy a token that they put in the game, so you can pay with that token your month fee. So if you compare 3 months with 10 to 15 months, I think that they have to work something better.
Yeah, it's got to get looked at.
Here's the thing that needs to be looked at too. Bottom line is, until you reach those tokens, it is absolutely, and I don't care, I've seen the mods and everybody else go on the forums and scream it's not true. The bottom line is, until you're getting those tokens, it is absolutely impossible to keep up on building fleets unless you coin.
Exactly. And I think that if you get joy for the game, you are going to coin because it's going to come from you. The problem is when you find yourself forced to coin to just play the game because you make numbers and hey, to play this game at this amount of I need, I can buy myself a PS4.
Yeah, no,
an
no,
Xbox
you have
360,
whatever.
that's a very good point, because when the game's easier for me, right, like quote unquote easier for me, I will actually have less issue dropping some coin than if it's more difficult and I feel backed into a corner. That's an
Yeah,
excellent.
it's
Well, you feel like you're working for it, right? You feel like you're if things are
no,
very tough and very stressful in the game, out of your control, you feel like that you've earned more than if it's easy. Like, okay, is
no,
that
but if it's easy, you're actually enjoying the game and you're happy. So you'll say, "Oh, I like this game. I'll spend $10 on it or whatever." Whereas
Yep.
if it's really hard, then you're
Exactly.
going to feel like they're forcing you to spend money.
Yep.
See,
And then
my point would
resentment comes into it, and yeah, no, that's Tito had a fantastic point there.
be I'd spend more because you better hurry up and do it before they fix it.
yes.
No worries. The girl is taken and nobody's going to take it. No worries.
Yeah, she's all ranked up. She's completely skulled. There's no way to,
She has one of those mean faces, man. Like she would like get pissed at you and just smack you upside the head with one of those tits.
Yep.
Shut up.
She can beat me all she wants.
Yeah, this is how we're gonna-
VXP weekend.
So El Jefe, do you want to comment about the trees in the background or the water or that?
The sweet mansion.
I was more wondering about
Oh,
George's comment, and I was sort of curious at what country, at some point there's going to be a country that comes up, with their death penalty, where she'll actually suffocate you between them, and then that's how you die. Is that inhumane or humane?
No,
Wait.
that's Futurama. That's different.
Apparently, Hefe is now reading my dream death.
Yes.
So VXP weekend is where I get let off of my leash because this is bull. Okay, so I did science this morning. I went out, ironclad, no salty, get a baseline. Now, they've had difficulty with giving VXP to buildings, so I go out. I deal all damage in terms of armor to a target. 2 shots, 2 salvos with 8 mousers on an ironclad. That's enough. It dies. I come back. 2649. Okay, sure. Base is what, 1325, something like that? Because they round it awkwardly. So I'm like, okay, that sounds fine. Let me just, go and try something else really quick. I take out my Harlock's Cannoneer. It's got 1 gun on it. 1 gun is all it needs because it deals so much damage. Go in, I get 3 shots. That's enough to cover the armor. It dies. Now it has a triple salty. I come back. I see 7949 or 47. It's rounding. So the ship with no salty, full kill, full death, got exactly the same, got 1/3 VXP as a triple salty, full kill, full death. Basically, again, and then I tested it out again. You don't get VXP for hitting buildings. That's the short story. I did a bunch of science. No VXP for hitting the buildings, the turrets. You don't get VXP for the damage you deal, only the damage you take.
Yep.
And
Suicide.
that's bullshit.
Hit 99s.
It's the same. Well, but the 99s kill you before you even get in range, and they're designed to kill
it's the same.
defender.
They designed the VXP targets to be coiners. You can only get VXP for dying.
Can I like tell you guys something that I've been doing, because I am a cheap bastard and fuck spending coin when I'm this salty. If you have a couple of salties, even just the regular salties, not the triple salties, and you go and hit the unidentified raiding fleets, especially with the Cannoneer where it can outrange everything in there, you can just drive around, kite shit, and take 0 damage and get all sorts of VXP for goofing
Free.
off in them. Yeah.
Yep.
That is my next strat.
Do not discount the unidentified raiding fleets, because now, since the power creep has gone up with our stuff, we've surpassed what is in them, as opposed to when they first came out. So take advantage of it while they, don't fix it, and I'm sure that'll get fixed in the next few months.
Do they still actually have the C-Scorpion one from like 2 years ago?
Yep.
The what?
Bet they do. Good old the Thresher one, the Templar or Crusader one.
They're all still there. They're just
Templar
spawning them around Dracu bases now instead of around the nav tower.
Yeah, the Templar
it's fucking there. Oh, that's where they are now. Okay.
If you guys are going to try them, the Templar one is tricky. Try and avoid that. The easy one was the what's the rocket one? The Thresher. That one you can drive circles around that damn thing all day long, and probably with the ironclads as well, and just kite the hell out of them. And
the thing is, you could. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, just have fun with it, because I don't know when they're going to change it, but I'm sure someone's going to pick up on that quick, because I'm not hiding that one. I'm going to share that with everybody.
Yeah, because I was doing 99s, and the only thing really that I have to rank this VXP is a Harlock Citadel that just popped out, and I still spent 20 coins getting that thing up to 74%.
Good lord, you're doing something wrong, kiddo.
And that's with a triple.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You're doing something wrong.
Why are you doing it in the 99s?
Yeah, no shit.
Because it didn't even. I looked at it and I was actually getting less VXP in the hundreds for some reason.
That doesn't sound right.
Well, the only reason being is if his damage, if Brian's assertion that you're only getting, if Brian's assertion that you're only getting damage from taking damage in the 100s is true, which I can't. It just seems so hard to believe that they would do that.
Well, they did it. They did it so many previous times when they tried to do these. I think only once they got it even sort of right. And even then, I wasn't, doing my rigorous testing to prove that the only reason that the numbers were different was because no VXP for damage dealt. But nope, did it again.
I think the last time they had torpedo towers in them too, because I remember gutting them and everyone getting pissed at me.
Yeah, well, those are ships.
The torpedo towers were what were given the VXP, but they've never been able to successfully put VXP on a building, and I don't believe they put VXP on these buildings either. I don't even think they tried to. I think it was their intent for you to suicide your fleet in there and get VXP for damage, and then coin a refit or coin a repair and go back out and hit it again.
And Nines, does your Harlock Citadel last more than one shot?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, because I was going to say if it lasts more than one shot, 100 might be your better deal. Just go in there to the edge of their firing range and then turn around and only take one shot, retreat, and then go and die. But if you're dying in the first shot, I guess it's irrelevant.
Yeah, use a Vanquish a tank. Hell, do something.
Use gunboat. Just run a gunboat ahead of it. Put its outside ring on just that first gun that pops up in the corner on the 100. You know what I mean? And then run a gunboat in. Let the gunboat take the radioactive shot. You get that one salvo off and then retreat. Do it again.
So I tried to isolate one of the short range turrets so I could just go up and kind of swoop in, and I was doing it on the top half, and you couldn't actually get in because the walls were too high. So I tried to come in.
We've got a picture of the targets that we can look at and discuss that.
Yeah, you can't. And then you come in under, and there's walls that pop up right beside the target for no reason at all. It's what?
Click.
Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah,
click next slide.
Click the next slide, yeah.
Next one? All right.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yay.
All right.
These are a pain in the ass. I'm sorry. If this is the DS target, I'm going to be really ticked off.
But do you see that they have no
actual
originality? Because this is nearly the same as the Mega Hull. If you look at the islands, even the same shapes. Changed a bit of sides, but
from what I heard, you can't outrange anything in here, and the big gun has more splash. But has anyone actually had any firsthand?
No, you can outrange it.
You can outrange.
Really careful.
Yeah, you can outrange.
The biggest problem that I had the first time I went in, I didn't realize that on the right hand side, those two cannons will surface at the same time if you don't come up at the right angle. And then once timer goes off, they'll both shoot at you, or one of them will shoot at you if you don't get it killed. But Other than that, I think this is mostly going to be a timing thing. And like I said, there might be a pattern with the path of that main cannon, so you can avoid it like we could in the first test servo.
Yeah, because that main cannon does have a lot bigger splash on it. And then 5 cannons that are around that main cannon, those are the ones that require, absolute precision driving. I mean, you got as much space on them as you had in the Hell Race with the Scouts. I mean,
which
that's it.
Because you have to move to kite in this one because of that center turret. So I don't know how in the hell they think this is viable because holy crap, what are you going to stop, shoot, and then run, circle around? I mean, that the target's going to take forever. You're going to time up.
Well, and you can't stop because if you stop, that center gun's going to tear you apart.
Right. Well, I was thinking that maybe you can, run up as that one fires. Once it fires, you dip in, take a shot, and then dip out again. That way you can keep on moving so that won't catch you. But you're still not going to be able to sit there and shoot it like in the other targets.
And I think it's going to become easier as we start to learn the map because you popped in, you started watching me the first time I hit one, and you saw what happened. Did you see what happened to my fleet?
No. I popped in to just see what it looked like, and then I popped out and tried it in another sector because I don't hit in the same sector because I've had some bad experiences with people trying to snipe me for fun.
Okay. All right. Well, what happened was I came in. I was going along at around 11 o'clock, and I started moving, and I had 4 ships, and they were slightly different ranks, and 2 of them ended up on the left side of the wall, and 2 of them ended up on the right side of the wall.
Oh.
Which are really far apart at that point.
Damn.
Ouch. I mean, I thought you saw that because it was like, what the hell is going on? And then, boom, there, my fleet is completely split up. I mean, I would know now.
And that's
these walls don't actually. Like. The thing I noticed is these walls don't actually surface until you're over them. You got to be over them on the inside edge before they start to pop up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and especially those turrets that are on the dents of those big walls. Those don't come out easily, so you don't have time. When they come out, they are already on top of you. So I was using the same fleet.
I do have a quick question. Like they said on the forums, all those the dark water is supposed to designate where shit's coming up. I think they're a little bit off. What do you guys?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably the range of the weapon, at least 100 or more.
You know what it is they're playing the game on an iPad and they're measuring the distance of the black water from the wall on the iPad screen, and that's how they're coming up with it.
What's my problem? What's going to come out of this sort of spots that are more clear, more wide, more, because if that is dark water, what is siding there? What's coming from there? The healing? No, they don't think they have healing on this game.
I don't know what the hell they're thinking anymore. I mean, I like I said before, it's what we're told and then what happened when it doesn't mesh. Players get resentful, and then when you don't even acknowledge it, or you try and hide it, or you try and bullshit about it, it gets even worse. And the last couple of weeks has not been a good time. And I really hope that they just honestly get the heads out of their asses and go, you know what? Y'all was sorry. We did screw up a little bit. We're fixing it. Just bear with us. I mean, any sort of acknowledgement to go, hey, guys, yeah, you know what? We're going to actually have some respect enough for you guys as players to go, we're going to acknowledge this. And
do you think they have respect for us when they change the briefing on a raid without saying a word, and they expect us not to figure out after sending tickets and tickets?
Yep.
It's been longer than a couple weeks, George. It's been since December's raid.
Yeah.
This has been a downhill spiral since December's raid, and it just keeps getting worse.
I mean, personally, it's been going on for that long, and I've been searching my mind as far as we know, nobody's changed anything as far as how the organization is getting run. I just consider it potentially they weren't forward thinking enough on Prop 64, and that's the issue that we're seeing here.
I don't know what's going on. I mean,
I-
whatever it is, since December's raid, communication and the way they're dealing with the community has just gone downhill. They've completely erased everything they did in 2016.
Yeah, you could go even
2016
further.
great year. I was loving this game. I was spending money out the wazoo, and now it's just, oh my god.
I mean,
I think you can even go backwards. You can move that the moment that they remove that word in progress that somebody didn't like, of course, because it was sensitive about the answers. The game went just downwards, backwards all the time. I used to say that they were doing 2 steps forward, 1 step backwards. I think now they are doing 1 step forward, 10 steps backwards.
I don't see them taking a step forward.
Look, here's the thing. For the year last year they did really well. Okay, and I am saying only a few weeks because they did try something new. It didn't work, and the problem didn't happen. It wasn't that they tried something new. That was fine. They messed up, and that's great. And they acknowledged they messed up, which is one of the few times.
George, what did they try new? Just
the way that they released stuff.
Making us pay for it? Is that what you're saying?
No, the way they released stuff.
I agree with you, George. They have tried something new.
Wait. They tried something new. They acknowledged it was a mistake. Okay, it was after that point where they started really screwing up. Because up to that point, I can go, okay, you know what? They did try something new. They bullied up to the bar and they said, you know what? We did screw it up. We ain't doing that again. We're sorry. And they did say it. Doom posted it up there, going, I doubt we're trying this again because this did not work out the way we wanted it to.
Okay,
it was after that point that they started fucking everything up.
George, I'll give credit that they did say that they did admit that they screwed up on the release. But here is the problem. To this point, they have still lied out the wazoo that we all knew when they didn't give us the weapon and special. We all knew at December's raid, when we didn't get the weapon and special, that the next raid was going to be based off the weapon and special. There were 50 million freaking posts about it. You know what I mean? It was on all the Facebook pages. Everybody knew that the targets in the raid were going to be based off of having the top tech with the top weapon, the top special. And Kixeye never did own up to that. And then when we saw it,
that one's even worse. It gets worse than that. That's one of the reasons why I got really upset was because they actually said in the forums, Doom actually posted that it was not going to be the damaging and the difficulty was not going to be based around a cannoneer with a Millennium build, and that is not at all what happened.
And they've not owned up to that part. They've owned up that not releasing the tech together was a mistake, but they've not owned up to the fact that we all knew and were right that the raid was going to be based off that tech.
And they continue to do this. They continue to do it with these limited time offers. As far as how they didn't stop with the raid, they keep on going with these limited time offers.
That's my main concern, because at the end of the day, Kixeye, it's a business that provides a service that is entertaining us with the game. When you go to another business that is a service, like your restaurant, and they screw up with your order, normally you don't pay for that order. They give you yours for free. So far, I have paid $10, $20 if I wanted the weapon, so I could start to be something more decent in the raid. I got to do a raid.
Well, look,
before I got to spend 90 millions to get the hole to do the raid. And the only way Kixeye got to fix his problem was making me spend more money, because that's the only way they knew.
I didn't look at it like that, Tito. I was going to spend that money no matter what. I was going to put coins on for the raid no matter what. So I got the gun for free as far as I was concerned. So that really didn't upset me. What upset me is the cost it was to put the gun on the ships before the raid. If they'd offered me that deal 2 weeks in advance, then it would have been a whole different ballgame.
It was timing.
The timing was off. I mean, I have no problem with them doing offers. Honest to God, I would love to see them start selling skins again, because people actually enjoyed it and they were buying it. I have no problem with them selling shit to make money. By all means, man, go for it. Send out 24 friggin' special offers again. I don't care. I don't have to buy them. The problem that I had with the last one was that you kind of needed that gun to go, man. I mean, it just
it's the combination of the raid being tuned to that tech, and the only way to get that tech was to
Was having
spend
it
money.
paid.
It's
Yep.
like your skill is basically irrelevant. Give us $10, and that.
Well, the other issue I see, Brian, is I brought up a little bit earlier, is the timing and the way they try to sell stuff. We talked about the Zelos build tokens and VXP tokens, and the way it was released prior to these tier 5 specials and arm and weapon, where they're conditioning people to fear not buying something.
Yeah,
And that's
or have to go planning by betting. Is this going to be good or not? It's likely any of the other things they are doing. You have to, why? If they
Get
were
it
going
so they
to
don't
put
buff
the last of the USB special on the FM, why didn't they say it? So because I don't want to see the face of the guy that thought, oh my goodness, I want this UAV and I need the special because if it comes later a hole for attacking bases that need the special, I'm going to be screwed up.
Well, I think that happened
Actually-
because they just saw a lot of people not
And-
getting it.
And
Yeah,
I
because
saw
their
the
own
face
rules
of
made
that
it that way.
But the problem, George, is that a lot of people is not all people, and that's my problem because that rest of people that got it, they are all screwed.
I
They
actually
don't have no date.
I actually saw a guy that got the UAV override or whatever it was in the raid, and he said he would get the HPR rounds the next one. Yeah, he's pretty much cussing himself red right now
So he's
because
gonna
he
miss the special
actually
no matter what now.
Yeah. And as far as it's sort of similar, but it deals with non-corners. I don't know if what the hell is on or whatnot, but if he wants to pop in, because as far as lower level players in this raid that own a Centurion and own a Punisher, what were they given as an option to buy? Does anybody know?
nothing.
I think there
The
was nothing.
Visago's Punisher. The Visago's Punisher.
Oh, that's
is
right.
what they were offered to buy for $6 million.
Trash.
And
Because that's going to be
it is
when
like
the sector level red teal, right?
it is like taking the beggar in the corner, or the beggar sitting on the side of the street, and then just kicking him in the face. I mean, that's what I saw about the whole thing. I mean, saddle him with a 28-day bill, what is it, 20-something bill for a bear haul, and he's gonna. They just killed people. I mean, I don't. That was the most mystifying out of anything that I saw in that raid. There was nothing for a player that, okay, I used the Foundry. I did what you wanted. I got the Centurion. Okay, I got the Punisher in the hall raid. Now what do I get? Oh, I get the Visago's Punisher. I mean, that was
Yeah, I don't think
the
anybody.
progression for players.
Get it, Hefe? Who's gonna get it? No one. I know. I told everyone not to even bother getting that piece of shit. I don't know anybody that got it.
But people that watch these aren't the people that watch the shows.
I'm talking about in comms. The screw the shows.
Yeah.
I mean, the question is at this point right now, what do we do, or what can they do to get this better, or how can we do this, or what can we do to make us going forward better in these raids? Because if this is the S target, I'm gonna tell you, I'm probably gonna just grind out the A's again because I can do that easy as hell. I don't have to get any of the big things anymore. And I mean, I hit I don't know what the hell, I hit like 170 something million.
Yeah.
Some shit. And that was almost all prepping. I will do the same damn thing again if I'm this pissed off.
Yep. That's what I did.
I know. I heard you.
They
I
are
heard
going
you
to
the other
make
day, and I'll
the
do
tier
the same
A.
thing. The catch is. I mean, we're whining. Look, here's the thing. We're whining like fucking little, like old Kamar housewives. What the hell can we do, or what can be done to change this? I think because we have to salvage this raid set. I mean, it's got to get salvaged somehow. Because we can whine for the next 3 hours again. I mean, we did the same shit last week.
We
But
didn't,
I want
whine for
solutions.
3 hours. You might have whined for 3 hours.
We didn't whine for 3 hours.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on.
We were providing you guys wine, and in the last hour and a half, 2 hours, we provided solutions for everybody. I made
Hefe,
it
how do
very
you
dis-
even remember the show?
Why are you on the trash?
Because it was 3 hours. It's a landmark.
Jesus Christ, Nines. You need to come up with better lines.
So I put to you guys, look, there's a decent panel. I haven't heard from Hollywood all fucking night. What do you guys think going forward? What can we do? Is everyone going to stick to A sets if this is the 100 target? I mean,
A sets.
Yeah.
Probably 8 sets.
Yeah.
It's the way I punish Kickside, not coining.
Well, and we're used to the A sets now too, sort of.
break this thing. I'll admit it right now. I have a very I want to break this thing, and I will make a video and tell everyone. But once it's broke, depending on how much room I have in driving, I'm probably gonna go back to the damn A sets because I can do those in my sleep now.
Yeah.
Muscle memory. I agree.
Yeah.
And you probably got every tech.
That's last rate without having this one target. So now we do the other one with eyes closed, and we can even play 2 games at the same time.
And people that are just getting their Cannoneers this time and getting them ranked, and they're going to be ready for next trade to do the A sets, right? The best advice I gave anybody was do 10 of them back to back. Get one down before you go to the next one. Don't try and do a set at a time. Do 10 71s. You'll get used to what it is. You'll get that muscle memory. You'll get used to it, and you will be able to just fly through them after you get it down.
Yeah, agreed. Learn the pattern.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was doing A sets for less than 10 minutes.
The best information I've seen in this show just came out of the chat. If it's true, Daniel in chat said that he claimed the UAV overdrive during the raid, filed a ticket, and switched it to high velocity rounds. Unless he's bullshitting us, that's.
I think
that's a very good tip.
Look, I think they'll do that like if it's the first day or the first like 48 hours or something. I don't know if they do it now. You can try.
I've filed.
And then what about the players that we shouldn't give out that advice then, because we're for the whole community, and there's a lot of non-coiners out there, and the non-coiners can't do that.
That's true.
Yeah.
But no, we can still give out the advice because we represent everybody as far as doing this. So it's not, we don't limit the advice. It's just saying.
Yeah, but that's just, I'm sorry, but that's just dirty.
I think.
Yeah, that doesn't feel right.
I think for tier 5, tier 5 that we got accustomed to the last raid, what's going to happen to that tier 5 is something else is going to get thrown in the mix. Either they're going to drop the bonus points, or something else is going to be added to the tier 5, and they'll
Splash is going to come back.
Yep.
Can you imagine a bigger target than this? If this is a 105, imagine a 107.
Shit.
Bad.
Yeah, and we got to hit both of them.
Yeah.
A set.
Probably will. You know that they are likely to do that.
But really, you know what? You want to set we're the top. We're top players, and we're gonna, no matter what they throw at us. George, whatever.
Yourself.
Except for
George,
George and Nines.
George, you're gonna have every prize out of the next raid, no matter what they throw.
That's PvP. Hold on, but Dr. Death, look here. Hold on a second. The top player is one that can do it all. I rarely base it. I'm not that good at it. I don't have a.
Well, I'm not. I'm okay. I'm not okay. Not top. We're okay. We're in the top echelon on tech. How's that?
For PvP, yeah. Tech depth, sure. Okay, I can go with that.
All right. You're gonna, and I know that pretty much everybody on this panel is going to walk away with whatever the top prizes are in the next raid.
Tokens.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
What they need to do if they want to salvage this raid and get more participation in the raid is they need to up the amount of points paid out in Tier C and Tier B. And they need to lock it to the level of holes, not to the player bases. And then people can go out and make certain that they're tuned to those holes. So, they said Centurions should be able to auto a C set and run a B set. You know what I mean? So make it so that a Centurion freaking can do auto the C set and run the B set. You know what I mean? And offer more points in the sets so that these players have a chance to go out and actually get some points and do something in this game.
And also don't make that mid-level prize an albatross around your neck, like the Saga's Punisher, like I brought up earlier. I think that's a huge issue. They
So
should. I could almost think of anything else they should have given those people.
Now,
I
Death,
mean, it
I
would have
gotta
been
say
fine if they
something.
had changed the build time on it, but the way that it still is, no, it's not a.
I'd be
Not
okay
Well,
if they
Death,
lowered the amount for the new prizes. And Cannoneers 10 instead of 15, this and that, drop those down by a bit. I mean,
I'm
it's
kinda
got less
curious,
value because they're only going to be used for one more raid.
What are they going to have for us to claim next time? I mean, it's just going to be the right hand side.
I don't know.
I mean, I already
Yeah,
got all the big
and so it doesn't really. Yeah, and that's the thing. It doesn't really matter to us. And if I've got to spend 30 mil to get the new stuff, well, that's what I'm used to anyways. But looking at it from the other side, if if I've just got Sensor Punishers or whatever, and all of a sudden I have to get, 10 million fewer points, then that's okay. And the point reduction on the B set doesn't look so bad now. I probably have to do fewer sets anyways.
I am worried about March. Like, I'm worried that the new hull for April is going to cost 200 million.
I'm also worried about March, but that's in the future, and we'll, whatever. Right now we can learn.
Right now, I'm actually not building for February. I'm actually waiting to see how February looks before I even actually put any effort into building my Harlock Cannoneer. Tokens and everything that I save from the FM, I can build it over the raid, and I'm just going for tokens next raid because I don't base it. So
Nines is building for October, is what I'm hearing.
no, I'm just saying right now, since I do not base it, going out and spending coins or anything on a raid when I can go get 10 or 15 mil for the tokens and go do something else, go work some extra, so that way I can actually save money in case, like George says, the new haul for the coming raid might be 200 million.
George said it was going to be 200 million?
He said he's worried about
Whoever said
being
200
that.
million. Yeah.
But here's something else though, even for players that don't do PvP. All right. You all know that the thing you hate the most, even if you're not active and hitting other players' bases, is when you lose time in your base. When someone comes along and smacks you and you lose time on builds, you lose time on research, you lose time on everything in your base. And half the time when they bring out a new hole that is for PvP, it works as well or even better as a base guard than it does in hitting bases. So it's just something for people to think about that aren't out hitting bases. Don't just say, okay, I'm just, because I don't do base hitting, I'm just going to ignore this, because getting that hole may be something that actually saves you in the long run on your research and your builds. Anybody disagree?
No, I definitely agree with you. Most of the time, as you said, the best hole to stop the whole attack in your base is putting it behind the walls.
You do have to spend the time building the hull.
But the PvP hole normally doesn't spend that much, Brian, to be built. You can
that's pretty low.
You're taking tokens, probably with, let's say, 1 week of game, and the tokens you probably have the whole build.
Yeah, I
so
mean, if you're not a base hitter, you don't have to worry about building a fleet of them. You don't need 4 or 5 of them. You just need one to stick in your base someplace just to help your guard out so that your base don't get farmed all the time.
So what I'm looking forward to actually is how they're gonna come out with the new tier 6 conqueror hulls, because they've made these restrictions now such that they really have given themselves a lot to play with in terms of PvP and PvE, and with OP9 and all the crazy defenses and all the crazy weapons they have, I think the conqueror hull is also going to.
I'm going to tell you what, they shot themselves in the foot, Brian. They've shot themselves completely in the foot with what they've done. You know what I mean? In the past, yeah, there were, you got your small group of actual dedicated base hitters in the game. And we'll make certain we get 4, 5, 6 of these holes built, skulled now. You know what I mean? But a large amount of the players in this game don't do PvP anymore because it's too expensive for them. They've got too many chores they're focused on. but they still
There's no real profit.
they would still grab those PvP holes because they could go out, grab them in the raid, spend the time, spend the money to get them in the raid, spend the time and money to build them, and then they would find some place in the PvE environment that it would help them. And now that Kicksai's locked it, those holes pretty much, they've shot themselves in the foot. There's not going to be near the number of players willing to coin them holes or spend the coin to get them holes, now that they're only good for that one aspect.
Yeah,
and there's no
Yeah, so they
possibility.
buy PvE prizes now. I don't.
No general
Right.
purpose anymore.
Yeah, they buy PvE prizes now with their raid points, and maybe they quit the raid earlier. I mean, yeah, I guess it is a bit of a revenue drop if you look at it that way, but I mean, I guess I'm biased because I don't hit bases, but I don't too terribly much see an issue with that.
Well, no, it's going to save you some coin, ain't it, Brian?
As long as you're an active player somewhat, and you stay on top of the raids and you don't miss anything and you're not gone, you're not absent for, I don't know, any longer than even a couple of months is a long time. If you're not gone for any more than a month, you can always recover. But this game, it forces you to at least be active to where you complete your chores and you compete in the raids to get, whatever it is that you need to go on to the next one. But if you don't do that, then that's when people are hurting.
Well, no.
I mean, from this point forward.
No, all you got to do now is sit out of the game for 3 months, and Kicksai will give you the last top-of-the-line fleet.
Yeah, I'm not gambling on that one. What, so they can give me a Rhino fleet?
No, they're giving them Tideseeker fleets now, fully built Tideseeker fleets now.
No, they gave Rhinos on the
I'd
time
like
of
to see the
Apollo
build on
raid.
those.
They gave you Tiger Sharks, and depending on your level, either the flagship for the Tiger Shark, and now they are giving Tideseekers. But you have a good point about that, Dr. Death, especially if you look at it with a bit of perspective, and you see that after a while, they released the same holes that people were fighting in a raid to get through a TLC. So, if you are not a base hitter, you say, well, I can either get it now in the raid, or I wait some months, and there will be some TLC over there, and they will give me those tokens to build it. So, if I only want one for the collection or something like that, I just can't wait.
Well, no,
So,
what's
yeah, you're
irritating me, Tideseekers aren't even 2 months old. They're not even 2 months old. Why are you giving them full Tideseeker? I don't even have a full Tideseeker fleet built.
No.
You know what I mean? They're not even 2 months old. Why are you giving full
fleet.
fleets of them to players that have been out of the game for 3 months?
What I said, that is the moment that they offer the Tideseekers right now, for example, they should extend the offer to all the other ones that need them, because they need them for the running targets.
I agree.
So
Can you imagine the price on that, though?
I agree with Tito, because this would make if they're going to offer these to because we've seen some really egregious examples that have gone on where level 33s. I've seen level 33s. A while back, 4 months back, get gifted with full Apollo builds with blades. There's no way that they could
The
build
Neptune's
them.
back even further back than that.
Yeah.
No. I can say you one worse, because I came in July and I was looking what they offered you in raids before. You pay 45 million for a Harlock Aegis, and some people got the Harlock Aegis by free.
Yeah,
Built in-
if I remember
built in
right,
the-
one of
in
the
the
things
The idea I have is to, if you're going to gift them to a level 33 that hasn't played the game in months, why don't you gift them to that level 33 that does play the game, that retain that player. Don't just give it to those people that have already got fed up with your bullshit. Give it to those players that are trying to become relevant in the game, and not just do it for those people that have gave you the middle finger and walked away.
You know what I think? I think until a player reaches level 50, there should be login bonuses. If you log in consecutively every day, then the bonus should increase, and like once a month you win a hole.
Okay, this is the Kicksai team. You're hired.
No,
Making
I mean,
and that's
think about it. If you did something like that for players under level 50, that's your noobs. That's your players just coming into the game. If you did that and said, well, if you log in and play every day, we're going to give you a login bonus. You know what I'm saying? And say if you log in consecutively 30 days in a row, you're going to win a tier 3 hole that you'll be able to use on some map target or on raid target or on the FM, or you're going to be able to use it somewhere in the game once you get it built. But we're going to let you win that blueprint if you log in 30 days in a row. You know what I'm saying? That would encourage new players to come in and log in every day and play.
Well, for kicks, that their point is they're just using the numbers game. So the more numbers they can appease, the better their chances. I don't think they go so deep as we get into the personal sentiment and well, why didn't we get this, or why doesn't this person get this? They just look at the big picture, and if they can give out in mass, they're going to retain some and they're not going to retain some. But you know what they're not going to do is they're not going to give it to all, because if that were the case, then everybody would be playing to be on the game. And most of us, well, for me, I can play the game for free. It takes time, but I can do it for free. So if I logged in every day, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and the thing is, like,
you're over level 50, aren't you?
But the problem is that
I'm talking about for bringing new players into the game. I'm talking about for players with bases that are level 50 and below.
Man, you can grow to a 50 in like 10 days.
Yeah, well, the thing is too, you can just do this for everyone, or you can have a sort of check in the system where, okay, this player has logged in for 10 days. Does this player have a Citadel hull? If no, they get one. If yes, they get a 12-hour ship build token or whatever. Like, it fits in perfectly with occasional sleazy, Skinner box game tactics. So it fits, it's right in Kix's wheelhouse. What happens is they, and the thing is, they do this too with like Starbucks frequent use gift cards, things like that. You get a reward for playing every day. Therefore, you log in every day. You start to make the game part of your daily routine. You'll log on once a day, just to see how it is and get out. Even if it's useless, you got something. That's better than getting nothing. It could be 100 uranium for all we care. Just like an hour ship build token, just something that's really not all that useful. But you got something, and you like the feeling of getting something. So you come back the next day. And maybe after a certain number of days, either consecutively or total, you get certain large prizes that'll entice you. And the game could show this ahead of time. Like, after like 10 days, you get hull X. Or after 10 days, you get, 12-hour ship build token or whatever. And it shows that so that you're working towards a goal. It'd help entice new players and something Hollywood goal I've been talking about.
I mean, it's sort of like the Friday show.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the Friday show. Like, a lot of people show up in the Friday show trying to figure out what's in Brian's right closet.
Yep.
Yeah.
You show us this time, Brian.
You stretch that so far. Like, where is he going with this? People actually have to want to show up to the game. Show up here, but they're here.
But if Brian shows us what's in the right closet at this point, he's going to have to grow another closet for people to show up afterwards, right?
Wait a minute. You said grow another closet. What the actual? Go home, Hefe.
Well, build or grow.
We're not sure. Simply grow closets, man.
Yes, we're not sure because your resolution is so bad. It's like some other world, but potentially
you grow TARDISes, not closets. Pay attention.
Yes.
I can't see the closet. All I can see is Tito.
Who's coming out of the
closet? Yeah, I told him 2 times, stop showing my face, but he's there all the time.
Are you presenting?
Yeah, he's got Tito presenting, so they've got it locked on Tito.
No, that would be that arrow. But yeah, that's a thing. Maybe that would help. Every few days, like maybe every 5 days or whatever, people get 5 gold or like 5 days or whatever. Something like that.
The thing is, that would mean Kix is giving us something free. Normally, when we get something free, it's because someone found a bug and passed it on.
Well, I'm not gonna say things about Kix's staff, but they're, you know, a poor quality product. Well, you know, that is something. What else could they do?
Brian, I wouldn't go that far. I think a lot of them. I think a lot of them try to provide a quality product. I just think there's something going wrong with management and whatnot.
It's the people above them. It's not really fair because gaming industry as a whole has a pretty high turnover rate, and maybe someone quit their job or wasn't hired back after the holiday break. Someone new came in and they're trying to make a name for themselves, and they do crazy stuff like a 1-second reload on a Quake cannon.
I told you, if I was working as a computer programmer, I would not put on my curriculum vitae that I have been working in Kixeye.
What Kix doesn't do is it's like one of two things. Kix is streamed by a couple of mega thinkers, whoever these mega thinkers are. I mean, that's just what I'm going to call them. You guys can call them what you want, but I just call them they're the mega thinkers, and they come up with these schemes because it's all. It's a business, and we've already admitted that it is a business. It's a money making business, and they're doing what they feel is right for their business. But there's only a couple of those mega thinkers. Or the other solution is that Kix, when their developers are actually devising these plans and working out details, what they don't have is they don't have a great deal of team cohesion. There isn't that, in program management, they don't have any team, pounding against each other. And so all this mishap that happens in the game gets caught in the fray because there's no cohesion. You know what I'm saying?
We know there's no cohesion at Kixeye. There's no
irradiated cutthroats.
No, they've come out and admitted. They have come out and publicly on the shows admitted there is no cohesion. They've got one group that's working on this part of the game,
and they're not teaming.
And they're no, because they have no idea. Like the person that's over there designing how the map is going to be for the target doesn't know how the person is designing the weapons that are going in the target.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And they do not communicate. That's already been admitted by Reagan.
Yeah. And that's why we're frustrated. We get frustrated, and the players, we take the brunt of it. And that's their problem is the whole team cohesion, and maybe they don't have the time, maybe they don't have the personnel. I don't know how they're staffed, but this or that. The guys that are here in this room, it seems like we don't have a problem making things happen. We just get peeved as of lately that they throw on these surprises and it doesn't happen in sequence the way it should.
Well, it all falls back to communication. You just got to be honest with your player base.
Yeah, you got to.
That right there would solve so many of the problems. They would have so many players that were so much happier with this game if they would just communicate with us.
And I would see the next raid hole being at least a minimum of the 90 million that we had to do to get the Harlock or to get the Cannoneer initially, and that would be a minimum.
That was already part of that whole
roadmap.
But that was already part of that whole fail. I mean, there were so few players that actually got the Cannoneer, and then it did not perform to par. You know what I'm saying?
You had to spend $10 to $20 to make that work.
It was worth it. It was worth it to me. Screwed it. It was water under the bridge. I just kind of bit the bullet on it.
Yeah, well, yeah, you bit the bullet.
But what I'm saying is there's
players were fuming over it. I mean, and we're talking heavy coiners here. They didn't this whole test run they did with the Cannoneer and the release and the whole 9 yards and the 90 million points. This didn't affect the non-coiners that bad. This did not affect your low-level coiners. This pissed off the whales. This pissed off their pocketbook. Plain and simple. This made the whales rage. The whales were raging.
But more the issue is, if they try to go with a 90 million value on the next one, they have such a trust deficit.
Yeah, we're going to be cautious. Right?
Yeah, like, okay, why should I trust them to do this? Why should I go out and do this and build this and whatnot if you're going to release it in such a haphazard, fucked up way again? I mean, they burnt a lot of bridge, not really bridges, but a lot of goodwill that they had when they did this.
Yeah, it
So
just
if I
creates
start building the
hesitation.
Zealous now, the Zealous will be ready for the garrison cycle.
Yes. Start building your zealous now.
That's true, man.
Wait, I
think
have
we
one
should,
built.
Yeah, you're all set.
Okay.
I just got to refit
Yeah,
the thing.
Nines is now a top player in the game with one zealous.
He is the
I
best.
can almost
I'll tell you
auto
what, by the
100.
end of this raid cycle, I'm going to have 4 Zealous built.
In which sector are you going to be? Nice, just in case we need help, so you can mark us and you can prep for us all the targets.
The way they're rolling this generalist stuff, I'm going to get, I'll have all my ships built, refit, and everything else. And by the last run of the FM, I'll have all the tokens free. And I can only save the second run through of those tokens. So that first run of tokens, I'm going to build a Zealous. And I'm going to do it again next month too. And anytime I have a few extra tokens, I'm going to I'm just going to quick build a Zealous. And I'm going to have 4 of them suckers, bare build, sitting there that I'll run through a VXP weekend in Skull. And I'm going to wait and see what the generalist weapons are going to be for that ship for the next raid series.
Okay. I think I wish I had like a slideshow montage of hulls that they've promoted that should do very well in certain things. We'll start. I've already brought the Visaga's Punisher up. The Harlock Centurion.
Oh,
War Saber.
Every radioactive hull.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What's the other one that only lasted for a week? The Harlock Revenge.
Yep.
There's a lot of hulls
Heavy
we
cruiser?
put faith in. There's a lot of hulls that we put faith in based on the communication we got from Kickside that basically had a 1 week lifetime or less.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about with the trust deficit, that we don't really have a lot of trust in the communication that we get from Kickside. It's all, whatever. I'll drop that.
I thought we already covered that earlier in the show. What did I miss?
Nothing.
We were talking about 1 week
Chuck-
life cycle.
No,
Okay,
well, yeah,
anybody
yeah,
has anything else to add, or we can call the show off?
Don't trust an 18-year-old with a gas tank job, because they'll call
Oh
you.
no.
They'll call you from underneath the car.
What
and
is
go,
what is a gas tank job? I mean,
He was
that
changing-
sounds
he was
a
changing
little
the fuel-
bit.
He was changing the fuel pump out. He was changing out a fuel pump, and when he took it out, it was warmer in the day. Now it's colder, so the straps don't come all the way around. And he's like, "I can't get this back in." I was like, "Oh my god." So
Okay,
sorry.
when I hear
Strange.
gas tank job, I'm thinking Molotov cocktail. But
Just
That would
hold
be
a
a
torch
bottle.
next to it.
Yeah, that's it.
warm it all up. All right. Well, I'm just looking for any ideas from chat, but I'm not really seeing any. So I guess it's time to go to the after show, and I will post,
Wait. No, wait. We can't do that.
It's only 90 minutes, man.
No?
We're only at 90 minutes. We ain't even we haven't even matched Wednesday's show yet. What are you talking about?
Well, what I'm talking
Bring
about
up some
is
slides
the
of
fact
some
that
bring up some of the slides of the chicks again, and we'll talk about them or something. We got to have something. I mean, come on now.
I want my girl
Well,
cooking again. She
I
was
think we
nice.
went an hour and 28 minutes. I know Tito's got the slides. Remember, that Saturday show or Friday show melted down my computer.
Oh, Dr. Death.
Even though
talking,
Tito
I'm
says
gonna
I
sing
smashed it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
Even though
so
Tito's
you stop it.
Yeah.
He stops it for
He
3 hours.
will tell you any story he wants. The real thing is that he
Did someone mute Dr. Death? Because he was talking. He was going off on something. I didn't hear a thing he said.
doesn't.
Oh no, I'm not muted, am I?
Oh, okay, there you go.
No,
I heard
We
you. I
are
saw you
allowed-
talking.
we are
Okay,
loud and
I'm
don't
going to
shut
tell
up.
the story of Jefe's computer again for all those that were not here. After 3 hours of show, he decided to do an after show. I was so tired that I left him just run the after show on his own. And next day, he told me that he did like those guitar players that at the end of the show will smash the guitar and make it pieces. Well, he did the same with the computer. So that was the reason that he is now in a new computer, because the last one, well, got better days.
Yeah.
Can I just
But
can
the
I point out something?
the truth is, after Tito left the after show, I don't know who, you know. Sometimes we get these webcam goddesses that show up in the after show, like Gianna Michaels showed up on the last Friday show.
Can I just make an observation here? Because when dealing with people that are trying to get over an addiction or are actually fiending for something, they'll start rocking back and forth, just like Dr. Death is right now. And I'm kind of wondering what he's detoxing from right now.
Can we stop talking about A sets and go back to the?
I haven't spent for the last couple of weeks I haven't spent my daily allotment of coins.
Oh, is that what it is?
I haven't been Warren. I mean, Kickstarter has made me so mad. Kickstarter has made me so mad. I have not hit a base in 2 weeks now, and I'm just like, I want to do it, but I ain't gonna spend the coins.
Oh man, I don't know. I'm still really, really, really upset about, I'm not even gonna bring it up. I'm gonna stop right now.
So if we're borrowing cheesy marketing tactics in video games, they actually probably could do with another, couple of ample ladies in marketing. It's a terrible practice, and I hate it, but everybody does it because they don't care.
And Brian, let's see what you're talking about. Can we go back to that slide?
Yeah, something like that. Just like I've seen it for so many years that I don't care. I'm actually less likely to do something that involves them because I've just gotten so sick of them. It's just like, really, that's the best thing about your product, that you're trying to sell me with that? Like, you're not even trying to sell me on the quality of your product, you're trying to sell me with that? No. Eat it, Carlos Jr., you suck. Things like that.
Or we could, they could overlay a Tears for Fear song on top of everything. If you've been following some of the PS3 games, but that's going back a couple of years, right?
I just keep thinking of Mad World over top of Gears of War and how that made no sense at all.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who was that?
You know what? In Battle Pirates,
they need
to do. You know what they need to do? This is what they need to do. They need to do a bikini contest in Battle Pirates between Greta and Zoe.
Oh Lord! Hey, Hefe, if you want to post that Huggies link up there, that's from earlier in the show. The several builds that I was referring to. If anyone wants to look at them.
Yeah, I have to post that to the chat. You're the only one that can post links.
What do you want?
Share the power.
I'm trying to figure out
the link.
I'm trying to figure out
that Huggies link that he posted to you. Please post it on the chat because you are the only one that can do it.
That way, people can see what we were talking about on the Zeloses.
Oh right. Ooh, yeah, that.
Let's see.
Yeah.
And we could put that also at the end of the show. You can put that on the comments so people can read it in case that they were not here.
So George, how soon are we going to see a write-up from you about this?
I don't know. I think on the TFC show, someone asked me about writing up something on the Zealous, and I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to.
Hey, George, it's 8 characters too long, or 28 characters too long. I can't. I have a limit of 200.
Tiny URL that.
Seriously?
Yeah. What? You want me to go through and snip it? Yeah, it's too long. I can't do it. I tried.
Shall I try to close us out in a normal way, or shall we get George to swear at somebody?
No. Wait. I'm trying to figure out who the Mad World. Who was that?
Kara Jules.
Okay.
Kara Jules.
Wasn't it?
Brian, come on now, Brian. Let's close this out with a bang. Open that door.
Yeah, Kara Jules.
Show us the dead hooker.
Yeah, it was Gary Jules.
Yeah.
Show us your My Little Pony collection.
That's yours, dude.
You'll keep looking at the off.
Yeah,
does not exist.
Yes.
So
Nine's naughty Lego collection. That's what we're gonna show in next week's show.
Oh God.
It may be naughty, but it ain't Legos.
Whatever.
Oh my God.
That's where all.
So if you feel discouraged by the raid cycle as it is,
post this Post this tiny one.
Hey, Tito got it. There you go.
Hey. Yeah, if you feel discouraged by the raid cycle in its current form, you know, yes,
Build
it's
dealers.
not that builds those, but yeah, it's not that good. But you can still learn. There's still videos out there. There's videos of people doing it with Centurions, and you know what to work so that you can tune things, and you'll do better next month. I believe in you. It's
Hey,
kind of the same, in feedback with kicks. They learned what we liked and didn't like, and they'll hopefully tune the targets and they'll do better next month. I believe in them.
Yeah, and when you're looking at videos, look at more than just one or two, because what we found was, like, Ren had a way that he went in and he was really comfortable with, and had some fantastic videos about it. I was not comfortable coming in at the same direction that he did. I was coming in at like 3 and 5 o'clock, and I have videos out with 0 damage. I didn't really put them up many places, but you can find them on YouTube. But take a look at several different players and see how they did it, because it's whatever you're comfortable with is probably gonna help you succeed more than trying to mimic somebody else's. Come in where you're comfortable, get a pattern down that you're comfortable with, and then do it several times until you're used to it, and you will succeed far better than if you tried to piecemeal it, one set at a time, or copying something that you're not comfortable with.
That's what I tell all the girls, George.
And if you got, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna tell everybody out there that's got
zero.
fleet. I'm gonna tell everybody out there that's got a Cannoneer fleet, while you got till tomorrow night, get out there and hit some of these hundreds. Yeah, you're not gonna get no VXP if you're already skulled up, but get out there and just get a feel for that target. Practice a little bit, so it gives you something to practice on.
Yeah, and if you need VXP, don't overlook the IRFs. I mean, those things will pay out with just a regular cheapy salty, and you can kite them all day long.
Yep.
Alrighty. Anybody else? Nines? Lego build? Brian? Closet? Dr. Death, why are you rocking?
I've been sitting too long, buddy.
Okay. You need a pillow on that chair.
He's
right?
detoxing, man. He's detoxing.
All right, George. Anything else?
Oh, fuck, I'm good.
All right. Senor Tito?
No, all is done. I will post the build of Haggis on the comments here on the video, so everybody that wants to see just can go there.
Okay. And Cobra GT, I'm not sure if you have a microphone, but nope. Okay. Well, I guess we'll see you all Wednesday, and have a great week.